I had a question on the survey. There's, I suppose, a box that says quality, so you decide whether to check it or not as being important. But I'm interested in quality could mean a lot of things, and it means different things to different people, whether in the data or from your own opinion, being Gen Y. What does it mean, and what information do you use to decide to make an opinion about a brand?
I'll answer that. At least I think the way we took quality to mean, you're sourcing where you get your materials to put for the car, and that everything you put into the car is going to last a really long time. I took reliable as, it's going to need as minimal service as possible. And I think for me, and I feel like for other members of this generation, we get a lot of our information from peer feedback. Not necessarily someone I know, but I go onto websites and I read reviews. That's where I actually get most of my information, because I feel like that's the most honest and trustworthy that I can find. So I think that's how I would answer that question.
A different view of quality or a different definition of quality or something?
I drive a Volvo, and safety is big in my family. We're a Volvo family, but especially, I was in a car accident 2 years ago, and after you get in an accident, safety or quality is being alive, after that accident. So safety is a huge quality factor to me. It's probably number one. Being young and not having a job yet, just being about to graduate, gas mileage and affordability is obviously very important. So that's my opinion from the younger age bracket of the generation.
Like that. Sorry about that. I also like to add to that. I think one main component that I would see is fit and finish of a vehicle, the way the interior feels, the way the panel gaps, that sort of thing. But because I think that part of that is indicative of the reliability of the car. While they are two distinct things, people would draw conclusions about how long a vehicle lasts by how nice it feels when it's brand new. But beyond that, there's also other aspects I might consider quality, like the design quality of the car, perhaps even the styling and the features available and that sort of thing.
Thank you very much. It was a really insightful discussion tonight, and it's sure going to help me think about the business a little bit differently. I want to turn a little bit. I am really pleased to know that at least 50% of you might want to come to work for the automobile industry. Maybe we could chat later. While you didn't have this in the survey, I'd like to maybe do a mini survey here. I'd be interested in what are the values that you're looking at as Gen Y in terms of companies that you want to work for?
This time I gave it a second. Some of the qualities I would look for in an employer in the automotive industry is a company that really lets you use some of your creativity, lets you use some of the input that you might get from other sources to really drive different thinking, have some effect on the product, not just do things the way maybe they've been done traditionally, but definitely look at those new ways and really just enhance your creativity versus maybe some other company that might stifle it.
I think the two main things that I looked for when I was doing my career search were opportunity and responsibility. We've worked hard over the last 2 years, and we want to have a chance to put the stuff that we've learned into practice, and we want to have meaningful work to do from day one. So that was the things that really led me to end up where I'm going. So
I think you're going to hear some common themes throughout this, but as you see, we want to be heard, whether it's at the dealer or anything else. And we bring a lot of unique experiences, and this is a changing, environment. And so we feel like we have a value add. And so when we come in, we want to be able to make an impact, as these guys from USC were saying. We want to be heard, and we want to know that, hey, you're going to have some sort of decision-making power, and we value you. You might not be right all the time, and we might not do what you suggest all the time, but we value what you have to say and why you're saying it.
At least from my point of view, there's a couple things. The first is the lifestyle choice, because as much as I like to work, there's that other aspect that it is your life. You spend so much time at work that's a huge consideration, at least from my viewpoint. And then also, we're not machines. I'm pretty sure we all have different skills, and we'd like to utilize those different skills, use our mind. You have to think about it. We're coming from a generation that can do like 30 different things at the same time. Not to be conceited in that sense, but don't want to get bored on the job, I guess, is the end point.
I think it's really attractive when a company is willing to take risks. I'm currently working for a financial firm. When they do that, it doesn't end well for anybody in this entire country. So that's not really the industry really where you're going to find risk taking. But in our research, I thought it was kind of exciting what Toyota did. They kind of put their risk in a bubble by creating another brand, Scion. But they're really doing interesting things, and I feel like some of the new ideas that they're coming up with are really successful, and those are going to be game changers for the whole industry. So I think that companies that are willing to take those risks are really the most exciting for me.
For me, I think what's important to me in a job or a career is to feel like I'm making a contribution in some way. And right now I work in the Boston College investment office with the endowment. So at least I feel like, and it's my alma mater from an undergrad. So I feel like I'm contributing to my alma mater, and those kinds of things are really important to me.
A few things. I think the number one thing for me is the opportunity to be able to see a project from A to Z. I'm really into research, and I like numbers, but I'd also like to see the whole thing and what the results are. For example, this study. It's really interesting for me to see that we get to talk to you guys and tell you guys solutions and implications. So I feel like that's really important. Also, going off what Catherine said, the taking risks and admitting that you take risks and that you fail to learn how to succeed. I think that's really important. I recently applied for a job that right on their homepage said, we take risks, we fail, but this is how we create our best products. So I think that's really important as well.
Well, I actually have something else to add that nobody said yet, which makes me kind of proud of myself to be original. But when I've been looking at companies, I know that there is a new topic of the corporate social responsibility initiatives. And I want to be proud of who I work for. And I want to be able to say that who I'm working for is doing good things. And I think that we are a generation that is kind of coming into the workforce where things haven't been going so well. And people are really realizing that the executives of a corporation, they need to be held accountable for what they're doing and the impact they have, not only on individuals and the financial impact of their company, but also on an environmental standpoint and giving back to your community. And for me personally, I agree with everything that everybody else has said, but that is huge for me. I want to know up front that this company that I'm applying for is doing good things outside of their company, and that they're also looking at how they're impacting this economy as a whole, and that they're going to be around for a long time because